Hey guys, it's Mike. Well, it finally happened. I got a crack in my brand new Galaxy Note 8. So originally I was going to just make a video telling you my impressions of having this phone for 2 weeks, taking a couple business trips with it, and I'll get to that. But there's a crack in the back of it, lower left corner. The funny thing is, I keep this in a case, I treat it with kid gloves, and I have never ever dropped it. I've never even put it down on a surface hard. So, best thing I can figure out is at some point, I have a pocket usually dedicated to a device. There's nothing else in it, no coins, nothing that can cause a scratch. And this device has been generally in my front left pocket. The only thing I can think of is a couple days ago when I was bending over to tie my shoe, phone felt a little bit tight, didn't really think much of it. Went to take the case off of it 2 days ago to clean it, and I noticed a crack. At first I thought it was a scratch. And I was like, oh, come on, it's cracked. I keep this Spidgeon case on it, which has generally been, I've had pretty good luck with them over the years. I mean, they're pretty good preventing from drops, but they're not very rigid, they're very flexible. So I'm guessing if it was in my pocket, this bent, it could have caused a crack. And I'm going to go ahead and insert a close-up clip here of the crack so you can see it. Here we go. So as you can see there's a slight crack in the glass. And the thing is, I've had this thing in a case. I treat it with kid gloves. I've never ever dropped it. So the best I can tell, if you look at the sheer size of this thing, is perhaps when I had it in my pants pocket and I bent over, I know a couple times it got kind of tight in there, right? So I think maybe there was some pressure applied to it when I bent over, and that's what caused that little crack. So it bothers me. I can't see it with the case on, but the phone's less than 2 weeks old, so I kind of want to get it fixed. Now here's the thing. After this happened, I said, okay, what's my options here? I mean, technically it's within 2 weeks. I probably could have got away with returning it to the store and then buying another one, but I've got ethical issues with that. I didn't really want to do that. So I figured I had two options at that point. One, either go to a cell phone repair facility and get them to fix it. Another option would be just going to T-Mobile, doing the insurance, which has $175 deductible. Downside to that, I was end up with a refurbished unit, and I really don't want to send in a brand new device that's about 2 weeks old just to get a refurbished unit back. So I'd like to actually fix this if I can. And the third option was to call Samsung and see what their repair options are. So I mean, short of the T-Mobile option, that's off the table for now. First thing I did was go down to a place called CPR, which is a cell phone repair place. And they say they can fix it. There's a generic part, which they have, which has everything on the back except for, the IMEI number and stuff. And they said that the part for that's like $70 plus labor. The actual Samsung part would be about $100. Downside, they don't have any of these parts in stock yet. They probably won't for, they said, another 3 to 5 weeks. Fortunately for me, this is not that bad of a crack, so if I'm gentle with it, it shouldn't spread. If I stop putting it in my pocket, hint, hint. So I can wait. I'll keep it in a case, be gentle, and I'll probably have to get a better case, if not now, at some point. So I figured, okay, let's check out Samsung. So I go onto their website, try to go to their service and support section, and they tell me to open a trouble ticket. Okay, fine. We open a trouble ticket. After trouble ticket's open, I'm on live chat with the guy. I said, what now? He goes, oh, well, call back tomorrow and they'll straighten you out. Well, if I was going to call back tomorrow, I could have just done that without spending 15 minutes on the live chat with you opening a trouble ticket. But anyway, no problem. So next day I call back, and they've got this, one of those voice control robot operating systems that answers the phone when you first call in. So, sorry, I'm just kind of laughing because this is a comedy of errors. The first time I call in, it says, please say your name. Say your name, and it says, sorry, we can't hear you. So clearly this system had no way of, or it could not hear what I was saying. So I call back. Oh, and by the way, if it doesn't hear you, instead of just transferring it to an operator, it does what no system should ever do. It just hangs up on you. So I call back, and it does the same thing again. I call back a third time. Clearly I'm getting frustrated at this point. Finally it can understand me, and it transfers me to somebody that can hear me. Except I end up with somebody that was having a hard time understanding me, and it seems like English was not necessarily the primary language. And I don't really care. I don't mind if you want to speak another language, but if you're going to answer the phone for people in North America, you should probably have a working knowledge enough to be able to understand what they're saying. That being said, she was trying very hard to be helpful, so we worked through those issues. So I gave her the trouble ticket number, and she says, "Oh, that was closed out." So basically they opened it the night before. It was a complete waste of my time. So we went through with the bad English and the bad connection and all that, and got another trouble ticket open in my name. And here's the thing. When I started this call, I said, I'm just looking to find out how much it costs to replace the back glass on a Galaxy Note 8. That's the only question, and she didn't answer that yet. She says, "Oh, we got to open a trouble ticket." So we opened this trouble ticket. Then she goes, "Okay." And I'm not exaggerating, and I'm going to put a screenshot up here, because last time I told people how long it took when I called Dish Network, I had a lot of people give me pushback, say, "Oh, it can never take that long." I'm putting a screenshot of my phone up here on the conversation. It took 27 minutes from beginning to end, not counting the time on the live chat, not counting the 2 calls that hung up on me. Okay, so 27 minutes into this call, she finally says, "Oh, it'll cost," I think she said, $297 to replace the back glass. Clearly, I'm thinking that's a mistake. I said, "You mean that's the price for the front screen? It's the back screen that's cracked." She goes, "Yeah, the back screen's cheaper, $297. And I'm like, holy heck. So at this point, I'm trying to say, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll get it fixed locally. And for that kind of price, I'd still rather go through the phone insurance and deal with the refurb. I'm not going to pay that kind of money just to replace back glass. Especially on a phone that's apparently really fragile. But she goes, "Okay, I'll send you a mailing label." I said, "No, I'm probably not going to do it." "Yeah, I'll send you a mailing label." So I'm back for it. Anyway, I got a mailing label coming apparently in a box to ship this off. There's no local service places in the Atlanta area. I had her verify that as well. So everything I do with this has to be put it in a box and ship it off. Oh, and also, I don't know if the product knowledge of this person was very good either. So there could be some errors here, because she told me, "Yeah, when you ship it off," she goes, "make sure you back up all your data, because we're going to erase it." Which I don't think they purposely erase it, but it's probably it's definitely a good practice just in case something goes horribly wrong or gets lost in shipping. But then she goes, "Take the battery out." I said, no, the battery doesn't come out. It's a sealed unit. And she goes, "No, you can't ship it with the battery in. It can cause a fire. Make sure you take the battery out." I didn't want to keep arguing. I was like, "Fine, we'll take the battery out." You can't take the battery out. But anyway, this is the Samsung operator. So we get to the end of that, and I'm basically just saying at this point to myself, I'm not paying $297 to fix a crack in my screen. So I'm just going to, at this point, wait and see when the cell phone repair place gets a screen, and then I might wait a little longer because I'm not sure I want to be the very first device they work on. So I might have that crack for a little while. But anyway, that brings me to the end of this story here. I've had Apple devices pretty much forever. And I'm really liking the Samsung devices, but there's a couple differences between the two companies. Regardless how you feel about the hardware, regardless how you feel about the software, Apple's got much better service right now. Part of that is because of their multi-store infrastructure. I mean, pretty much anywhere you go in the United States and many places around the world, you can find an Apple store. And I know every time I've had a problem, whether it's a cracked screen or just who knows, anything that goes wrong, you walk in the store, or now you make a Genius Bar appointment, could be a day or two out, whatever. You show up, okay, this is my problem. They're going to look at it. They'll probably fix it right there. If they can't, they're going to give you a refurbished unit. In the store, you can restore your data over the Wi-Fi network, and you're out and you're happy at an hour at the most. Okay? It's a good experience. Very customer focused, very efficient, solves the problem. With the Samsung device, if something's wrong, I either got to go to a third-party repair facility, obtain a refurbishment through an insurance program with a deductible. And to be fair, Apple, if you drop your screen, they're going to charge you a deductible as well, or they'll charge you to repair it, which is probably cheaper. Or I have to pay an exorbitant price to ship this off someplace with a multi-week turnaround time. What am I supposed to use for a phone in the meantime? I mean, well, for me, I got spares, but for most people, what are you supposed to use? So if you're just looking for easy repair and a customer friendly service organization, Apple's got Samsung beat in that category. As far as hardware and other things, I still prefer my Samsung, and I waited too long to get the Note 8 after the Note 7 debacle. I'm not giving this thing up, and I'll have some positive reviews on that soon. But anyway, I just wanted to share a couple experiences. One, that the back of this thing is really fragile. The fact is, I didn't put too much pressure on it. It cracked in my pocket. That kind of scares me. I'm not a fan of the glass backs on phones for exactly this reason. It's one more thing to break. It's one more thing you got to get fixed. An aluminum back, yeah, it can bend, it can dent, but you're not going to have a crack in it like this. But all phones are going to glass backs. We got to have them. And second, my repair experience with Samsung so far has been less than ideal. I'll leave it at that. And their customer service was, well, I mean, the person was on a phone tried, but screwed up system. I can't understand you. Instead of giving you an operator, to rather just dump you. It's like it's one of those whole customer attitudes. They feel like customer's more of an annoyance than anything. That's the way I felt about it. It's the impression I got. Still buying the product, still like it, but just in case you're out there looking for phones, you should be aware of this stuff. So that's it. Got a couple new things coming up. One, I've been starting to do some experiments with over-the-air antennas. So, you know, I love my Dish Network, and I've got it hooked up to my Amazon Echo now, and there's a lot of good stuff there. But it's under 30 bucks a month, and I'm really the only person that watches it. Everybody else in this house streams. So I'm thinking, it's a lot of money to be saved, and I'll talk about that. But I've been experimenting with over-the-air antennas, and I'm having a lot of success with that, so I'm trying to see how I can tie that into my Plex server to get live TV and DVR streaming there, and I'll put a whole video together on that as that develops. I also finally picked up a new monitor for my computer here, and I'll be talking about that. This is 40 inches, guys, 4K. I replaced the two 24 inches I had there, and I wasn't sure I was going to like it at first, but I absolutely love it. Wish I did that a while ago. I have a video on that soon too. So that's it. This is Mike. Talk to you soon. Out.